My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Jivanmukti Viveka, or in other words, enlightened life. Today's session is about Sthita Pradna, or one whose wisdom has been awakened. Pradna means wisdom. One whose wisdom has been awakened fully is called Sthita Pradna. He is wisdom is fully awakened and he is established in that. So that's called Sthita Pradna. So Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2.54 to 2.65, Sri Krishna explains various characteristics of Sthita Pradna. So Sthita Pradna, or enlightened one, is actually one who is in the fourth stage of enlightenment. In Jivanmukti Viveka, Swami Vidyaranya takes that shlokas of Bhagavad Gita and tries to tell why the Sthita Pradna behaves like that. What is the reason Sthita Pradna is like that? So Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, how is the Sthita Pradna? Swami Vidyaranya says, why is Sthita Pradna like that? If you read just Bhagavad Gita, you'll understand Sthita Pradna is like that. If you read Vidyaranya, you'll understand the reason behind why Sthita Pradna is like that. Is the distinction clear? So now let us take up one by one the slokas of Bhagavad Gita. One by one slokas. So many times I have explained to you, there are 7 stages of enlightenment. Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi, Sattvapati, Asamasakti, Padartha Bhavani, Turiyaga. One who has reached stage 4, Sattvapati, is also called Sthita Pradna, is also called Jivanmukta, because internally he is known as Jivanmukta, but externally from the society point of view, a person in the stage 7 is called Jivanmukta because the person in stage 7 does not experience the pain and pleasure caused by the body. In stage 4, the sage or enlightened being becomes free from the mind. That's called Jivanmukti. Stage 7, he becomes free from the body also. Something happens to the body also, he'll be free. So this distinction has to be clear and understood. Now, what is Sthita Pradna? So this is the question which is asked by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. 2.54. From 2.55 onwards, the explanation is given. What is Sthita Pradna according to Krishna? Swami Vidyaranya says, why is Sthita Pradna like that? Okay. Sthita Pradnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. So Arjuna asks the questions related to Sthita Pradna. Sthita Pradna means enlightened one. So he asks 4 questions related to enlightened one. 4 questions. These questions are very, very meaningful questions. First question he asks is Sthita Pradnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. So one who is in samadhi, state of meditation, deep state of meditation, he is called samadhi. For him, Arjuna calls Sthita Pradna. See the word difference. The word, the way the words are put here, explained here. Arjuna calls one who is in samadhi as Sthita Pradna. means his wisdom is established in truth, Sthita Pratna. But the person who was in Samadhi gets up and wakes up and starts walking around. So this we call as Vyutata. I told you in last class, Samadhi and Vyutata. Vyutana means Vyavahara in the world. So a Gnani does not sit in Samadhi all the time. So he interacts with the world. It's called Vyutana. So for that Gnani who is in Vyutana, Arjuna uses the word called Sthitadi. So see the difference between Sthita Prajna and Sthitadi. Sthitadi means buddhi, intellect. A Gnani, when he is interacting with the world, he will use the dhi, intellect. So Gnani who is in Samadhi, he is fully Prajna is awakened. So intellect is no longer playing a role. He is full of wisdom of the self. When he is interacting with the world, then it is called Sthitadi. Sthita, di means intellect. Sthita means with the wisdom established in the intellect, how he interacts with the world. So, when Gnani interacts with the world, he needs a body, mind, and intellect. That's the meaning of that. So, 3 questions he asks. How does he speak? How does he sit? And how does he walk? Very strange questions. How does a Gnani sit? How does a Gnani speak? How does a Gnani sit? And how does he walk? Looks very innocent. Okay. How many questions are there now? 4 questions. First question is, how a Gnani is in Samadhi. Second question is, how does a Gnani speak? How does a Gnani walk? And how does a Gnani sit? Okay. So Arjuna is asking how, Krishna explains how, Vidyaranya explains why. Okay. The difference between how is about Krishna and Vidyaranya is about why. So let us understand the first question, state of Samadhi of a Gnani. Sage in Samadhi, okay, is called Sthita Prajna. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanneva atmanatushtaha Sthita Prajnas tato dichyate. See, again Sri Krishna gives a definition of Sthita Prajna. That means his Prajna is established in the truth. Okay, when he interacts in the world, in Samadhi he is called Sthita Prajna. When he interacts in the world, he is called Sthitadi, enlightened living. So, when experience the ceasing of the mind, based all desires, Arjuna, and is completely satisfied with the self in the self, then is called steady sage. So, let us understand this. The Samadhi is 2 types, Nirvikalpa Samadhi and Savikalpa Samadhi. So Sri Krishna says, when he has given up all desires, when he has renounced all desires, the first definition of Sthita Prajna. Okay. Listen carefully, the deeper meaning of what he says is, renounce all desires. So desires are 3 types: gross, subtle, causal. Stula, sukshma, karana. So there are 3 types of desires. So stula desire or gross desire for the objects of the world. Subtle desires for feelings and emotions. I like somebody, I dislike somebody. Okay, somebody has to love me. So these are all called subtle desires. Gross desire is I want to have a car, I want to have money, I want to have power. These are gross desires. And causal desires have not manifest. They are hidden. Okay. So there are three types of desires in anybody. Right? So now a Adnani will be happy when he fulfills the desire. Adnani will be very happy, gross desire. I want a car. I want a big car. Wow, I got a big car. He's so happy. So I want to be appreciated. People should like me. He desires well. He'll be happy. So Adnani and Gnani difference is two. Difference is Adnani feels happy when his desires are fulfilled. So Gnani feels happy when his desires are dropped. So difference between Adnani and Gnani, Adnani feels happy when the desires are fulfilled. So Adnani feels happy when the desires are dropped. And what kind of desires? Three desires: gross desire, subtle desire, causal desire. So Adnani feels happy when gross desire or subtle desire or causal desire is fulfilled. Is the distinction between Gnani and Adnani clear? In one line, Sri Krishna makes a distinction between Gnani and Adnani. So now, please understand, Gnani does not drop desire. Desires drop Gnani. There's a difference. So Gnani does not drop desire. Desires drop Gnani. What do you mean by that? So if I have to drop desire, then there's an ego which says I will drop desire. Okay. So then they'll be hurt. Oh, I wanted to have a big car. Somehow my money is not there. That's why I didn't get my big car. The desire, I left the desire for the car. There's a hurt inside. But Gnani, if for Gnani, desires get dropped. It's not that Gnani drops the desire. How does the desire get dropped? Why does the desire get dropped? When the one who desires is dropped, the desires get dropped. The ego is dropped, then desires don't get dropped. Desires get dropped. With the ego, you cannot drop the desire. So, first sentence says, all desires of gross, subtle, and causal desires are dropped in Gnani. That's the first definition. Second, Sri Krishna says he is the Muni or saint, sage in Sthita Pradna. Pradna means wisdom. Okay. Intuitive nature is called wisdom. Intuitive knowledge is called wisdom. Awakening of the intuition is called wisdom. So, the intuitions which is awakened is called pradna. A self-realization is intuitive realization, I am Brahman, not intellectual realization. So when the intuitive realization of I am Brahman happens, the so-called body, mind and intellect, I am not. Nanu, nanembudu nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, Sachidananda Atma Shivanannane Shivoham, that realization happens. I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect called ego. So then what happens? Gnani drops the ego. Then along with that, all desires which are associated with the ego get dropped. Are we clear? When the desirer is always, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. That's called ego. When the ego is dropped in the realization that I am Brahman, All the desires associated with that ego gets dropped. Gross, subtle, and causal. This is the meaning of samadhi. Samadhi means, D means intellect has balanced. D means intellect. Sama means balanced. Then the intuition is fully awakened. I am Brahman. That's the meaning of samadhi. D means intellect. Samadhi means balanced state of intellect. Now, intellect is not biased by the ego. Intellect which is not biased by the ego, then there is a inner intuition, inner understanding, I am Brahman, awakens. So samadhis are of two types. Sri Krishna tells us both this type of samadhis, with the word samadhi, both are covered. Nirvikalpa samadhi and savikalpa samadhi and nirvikalpa dnana. So what happens in samadhi? First, Sri Krishna says, a jnani drops, a sthita prajna drops all the desires. And he is happy in samadhi. Samadhi is a state of bliss. Why does somebody drop this happiness? Any object gives me happiness, gross, subtle, or causal. Why should somebody drop that objects of happiness? He drops objects of happiness because infinite happiness, bliss is experienced. Nobody will drop something for simple, silly reasons. So samadhi is desire for ultimate bliss, ananda. So that's why you have to understand mumukshatva in a very different way. Mumukshatva, the understanding of mumukshatva is like this. People have desire, small desire, choti choti asha. This desire, that desire, big desire, small desire. Choti choti si asha. So they keep on pursuing. Every desire pursued requires a lot of work. You have a small desire. And that desire pursued, eventually they will not find the happiness. Everybody pursued the desire to get happiness, but eventually they'll again find unhappy. So I want a job is happiness. I'll pursue a lot of study. But after getting a job, I'm still unhappy because somebody else get a promotion. So a wise person or a prabuddha understands futility of desires. Futility of fulfilling the desires. So he understands fulfilling the desire is like putting ghee to the fire. Okay. Now, I am pursuing desire for happiness. A great desire arises in, greatest desire arises in. The greatest desire is I will be happy dropping all the desire. That's called great desire. It is called the great desire called mumukshatva. I will be happy, I will be blissful when all desires leave me. So that's why mumukshatva is called ultimate desire. It's called mother of all desires. What is the father of all desires? Adnana. Ignorance is the father of all desires. Mother of all desires is called mumukshatva. I want to be free from all desires. I want to be happy without desires. That's called mumukshatva. He is seeking bliss now. Ultimate bliss. In samadhi, he experiences the ultimate bliss. And let us not imagine what is that ultimate bliss. In sleep, we are blissful. Okay? But I am not aware of being blissful. In samadhi, I am blissful, like sleep, but I am aware that I am blissful. That's why samadhi is called jagrata sushupti, waking sleep. So in sleep, there are no thoughts, no body, no mind, no world. But there is no ego also. Ego is dormant. In waking samadhi, jagrata sushupti, there is no thought. The mind has become very silent. As if you are in deep sleep. As if. But you are fully awake. Fully aware. That is called jagrata sushupti. Now what happens? Because you are fully awake, there is knowledge which is possible, wisdom which is possible. Wisdom comes from experience. So experience of bliss in samadhi, which is like sleep, waking sleep, we call as ultimate bliss. It's called brahmanubhuti. Is the understanding clear? Now there is a subtle twist is there here. The twist is, in samadhi, you experience bliss. But that bliss is called samadhi sukha. Happiness in samadhi. So now, happiness in samadhi comes because mind is silent and bliss of the self is reflected on the mind. Ananda is reflected on the mind. So samadhi sukha is not your swarupa sukha. Samadhi sukha is reflected ananda, chidabhasa. But that's also very good, very blissful. Okay. So yogi or gnani renounces all the desires and goes for the ultimate desire of blissfulness, which is samadhi sukha. Now, samadhi sukha does not cause any further impression, vasanas. Getting a car, getting money, getting power or position, karma phala will come. Samadhi sukha, there is no karma phala. If that in samadhi, he has to discriminate Atma and Anatma. Nitya, Anitya. Then he understands, my nature is Ananda. My Swarupa is Ananda. Right now, I am experiencing Swarupa, not Swarupa Ananda. I am experiencing Samadhi Sukha, which is reflected Ananda. So, distinction you have to understand. Swarupa Ananda and reflected Ananda, you have to distinguish. Then he becomes enlightened. If he doesn't distinguish, then he will enjoy Samadhi Sukha. He wants to be in Samadhi all the time. Okay, he will go to a forest and keeps on staying in Samadhi all the time because Samadhi gives Sukha for him. Even Samadhi Sukha is temporary. Swarupa Ananda is not temporary. Swarupa Ananda is called enlightenment. So now a Gnani in Samadhi is two types. One who is experiencing bliss of Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, like deep sleep in waking state, but still he is a yogi because he has not become Gnani. He realizes my Swarupa is Ananda, Samadhi is temporary state, then he becomes Gnani. Is the distinction clear? So, how do you distinguish? The distinction is waking state comes, goes. Dream state comes, goes. Deep sleep state comes and goes. Samadhi comes and goes. But I am there, which is what comes and goes is temporary. I am Nitya. I am Akhanda Ananda Swarupa. Then he becomes enlightened. So, is the distinction clear? Sri Krishna is telling about Gnani. So he renounces all the types of desires, gross, subtle and causal, and he stays in Samadhi. If he realizes in Samadhi that my Swarupa is Ananda, then he is Mukta. So now comes the case of, this is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and if he realizes his understanding, this is called Nirvikalpa Jnana. Finally, Nirvikalpa Jnana is liberation, not Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Is the distinction clear? So now comes Savikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi means thoughtless state, dream, like a sleep. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is like more like a dream. So you are able to go, I am Brahman sometime, then again you will come back. You are not able to stay there. I am Brahman is not established fully. It's like somebody is learning to cycle, he is falls and comes back. Falls, comes back. That's called Savikalpa Samadhi. Even Savikalpa Samadhi is Ananda. But you have to understand, in Savikalpa Samadhi, the experience is Samadhi Sukha, which is reflected Ananda. When you realize my nature is Sahaja Swarupa Ananda or Sahaja Ananda, I am Mukta. The distinction has to be clear. So now let us go back to close sloka. Our Sri Krishna has said, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. All desires he drops. What desires? Gross desire, subtle desire, causal desire. Atmaneva atmanatushtaha. That means the mind, Atma is mind here. Atmaneva atmanatushtaha. Mind has become one with the self. Like wave has become one with this water. Sthita pradnah taduchyate. He is called Sthita pradna. So the mind has become one with the self. Mind is, wave has realized I am the water. So if a wave has not realized the water, wave is remembering I am water, then it's called Savikalpa Samadhi. It's going and come back. Nirvikalpa Samadhi says, oh, wave says I am water, stays there. I am happy. But wave realizes I am water only all the time, then he becomes Mukta. So I just wanted to give an example of Ajja, Puttur Ajja, my guru. So Puttur Ajja, so the question here is, Nirvikalpa is reflected bliss, Sahaja bliss, and Savikalpa is reflected bliss. No. Both the bliss, when you experience it, it's called reflected bliss. When it's Swarupa, there's no reflection. You know, I am blissful. That's called Nirvikalpa Jnana. So now comes the question about the life of Ajja. I showed the picture of Ajja. So what he used to do, he used to, in Puttur, the place called Puttur, he used to go and there is a rocky place. He used to go and sit in a rocky place. In the rocky place, he will sit silently. Sumariru, no movement, no action, no thinking, sit silently. And he was very blissful, Samadhi. He does not get up for food. He does not get up for water. He does not get up for body needs also. He doesn't move at all. When you are blissful, why should he move? Right? A person in sleep does not get up for hunger, does not get up when water is required, and does not even sometimes go for biological needs also. Like that, Ajja used to sit silently, no food, no water, and no biological needs also. So then one Muslim boy sees Ajja like this. Then he forces open Ajja's mouth and puts milk into his mouth every day. Ajja does not even drink even milk also. So this is called Samadhi, Sukha. You don't need food, you don't need water, and you don't need anything. Samadhi Sukha. Now, Ajja was in Samadhi Sukha, Samadhi Ananda. He is Jnani also, Brahmatnani also. The boy coming and putting milk into the Ajja's mouth is Prarabdha Karma coming and bringing him back to the world. The Prarabdha Karma of Ajja is coming in the form of Muslim boy to open his mouth and put milk into the mouth. So because of Ajja's prarabdha karma, he came back and he started teaching. And people like me, got a fortune of interacting with Ajja and getting jnana. If Ajja's Muslim boy didn't, because prarabdha karma didn't come as this didn't come as a Muslim boy and put milk into Ajja's mouth, Ajja would have left the body. So we have to thank that Muslim boy and Ajja for coming back to the world and give teaching. So that's the prarabdha karma. Loka kalyana. Swartha is not there. So understand the state of sthita pradna or yogi in samadhi. Are we clear? Now the Arjuna's questions are vyutana. Vyutana means the yogi gets up from samadhi or Gnani gets up samadhi and starts interacting with the world. So why does he, how does he speak? How does he sit? And how does he stand? These three questions are there. So let us understand these three questions. First question is how does he speak? What do you think? How does Gnani speak? How a sage speaks? Swami Vivekananda. So Swami Vivekananda speaks. Why he speaks? To awaken the people. So Sri Krishna says, Gnani speaks. But why does a Gnani speak? To awaken the people from Adnana. So the words of a Gnani are for awakening the society. So Swami Vivekananda, when he spoke in Parliament of Religion, maybe 130 years back, he started awakening India, waking up. So Gnani speaks to wake up the world. That's first understanding. Why does this Gnani speak? Speak for waking up, awaken the society. Okay. So now let us say what Krishna says about Gnani speaking. So why does Gnani speak? We have to understand three gunas. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. Sattva guna is balance, harmony, and positivity, peace. Rajo guna is movement, activity, excitement. Tamo guna is inertia, inactivity, and negativity. So there are three gunas: Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. Okay. Sattva is knowledge, balance, harmony, positive, and peace. Rajas is movement, activity, and excitement. Tamas is laziness, inertia. So when Gnani speaks, he is called Sthitadi Munruchate. Sthitadi means his buddhi is establishing sattva, truth. When you interact with the world, you have to interact. You have to use the body mind complex intellect. So the buddhi is now, instead of establishing the ego, ahankara, it has established sattva. Sattva is nothing but Ishvara. Sattva guna is Ishvara. So Ishvara is Shuddha Sattva. So Gnani is the Ishvara operates through intellect of a Gnani, Sattva. That's the meaning of that. So now why does Gnani speak? He speaks to help people to come out of Rajas and Tamas to Sattva. And then finally come out of Sattva also to get Mukta. So Gnani speaks to guide the society So Gnani speaks to guide the society from tamas to rajas to sattva. So the question here is Sri Krishna saying and Swami Vidyananda saying same? I've already told the difference between what Sri Krishna says and Swami Vidyananda says. Sri Krishna says how a Gnani behaves, and Swami Vidyananda says why a Gnani behaves. Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattoguna is Vidyananda teaching about Gnani. So what does Krishna say about Gnani? Dukeshu anudignamanaha, sukeshu vigataspraha, veta raga bayakrodaha, stitadi munirchate 2.56. So happiness and unhappiness. So now Krishna tells the nature of Gnani. What is that? Dukeshu anudignamanaha, sukeshu vigataspraha. When circumstances are not favorable, so Gnani does not get depressed. Okay. When the circumstances are favorable, Gnani is not elated. Vita raga bhaya krodaha. Vita raga means attraction and repulsion are not there. Bhaya and krodha is not there. So how many qualities of Gnani are told now? Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha, dukeshu, anudigmanaha, sukeshu, vigataspra. So how many qualities are told? 4 qualities are told. Vita, raga, attraction, repulsion, bhaya, krodha. Now why this attraction, repulsion, bhaya and krodha has come? That you have to understand. So when the circumstances are favorable, a common man gets elated. Ah, so great, right? Elation is there. That's fine. Next step of elation, what? Raga, I want more of this. I want more of this. Dil mange more. I want more of this good thing to happen in life. Right? So there is a attraction. Raga will come. Now this attraction, raga, comes from the tamoguna. I want more. This has to happen more to me. So Gnani is free from tamoguna. So how does Gnani behave? Gnani is established in sattva. Sattva is Ishvara. So Gnani uses discrimination. What is the discrimination? So favorable things have happened to Gnani. Or Gnani says, my prarabdha karma, good karma has come. Okay? So he doesn't say, "Hey, dil mange more. I want more of this." He doesn't say. Yeah, whatever my prarabdha karma says, come now as good condition. Okay, and he also knows I cannot hold on to this because everything which is good or bad is temporary. So Gnani is Tita Pradna. This is established in wisdom now. He is Titadi, means his buddhi is operating, intellect is operating under the guidance of wisdom. His discrimination is very proper. Are you clear? Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. So first what happened? Favorable things can happen. So Adnani gets into raga. I want more. I want more. Hey, dil mange more. So Adnani says, okay, my prarabdha karma has come. Okay, thank you. Right? Now, same creates a bhaya in Adnani. Bhaya and krodha. Bhaya. What happened, bhaya? Favorable circumstances. Bhaya, ayo, I lose this. When will I lose this? So bhaya comes to Adnani. Okay. Now why bhaya comes? Because of tamoguna comes as bhaya. Rajoguna creates activity. Activity brings pleasurable or painful circumstance in life. Activity creates karma. Karma brings circumstances, favorable, unfavorable. Now tamoguna comes. Either it creates raga, I want more, or it creates desha, not desha, bhaya. Oh, when will I lose this? Things are so far so good. Tomorrow what will happen? I don't know what to do. Bhaya. Okay. So then first is dukeshu anudigmanaha, dukeshu anudigmana, sukeshu vigatas praha. So when joyful circumstance comes, this is the behavior of Gnani and Adnani. Why? Gnani is in Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva is Ishvara. And Adnani is in Tamoguna. There's a difference. So Gnani is speaking to help a person, Adnani, to come to Rajas and Sattva. Dukeshu anudigmanaha, sukeshu vigataspraha. Now, unfavorable circumstances come Gnani. Gnani also faces unfavorable circumstances. Okay, there can be, people can come blame Gnani. Okay, circumstances can be very unfavorable Gnani. So Gnani says, uses discrimination because he's in Sattva. His mind is calm and peaceful. Ishvara. Oh, Prabdha karma has brought me unfavorable circumstance. Even unfavorable circumstances also will not last long. Thank you. So the moment unfavorable circumstance comes to Adnani, Vita raga. Vita means run away. Repulsion. I don't want this. Oh, I don't want this. How can you run away from your own prartha karma? And, oh, what happened to me? Bhaya. And krodha. Oh, that fellow did this to me. Okay, krodha means anger against somebody who did this to you. Understand that your karma has come back to you. The person who was responsible was only for delivery of your karma. He is not creator of your karma. So 4 characteristics of Adnani is Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha is dropped by Gnani because he is in Sattva. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, attraction, repulsion, anger and fear are coming from Tamoguna. So Gnani is neither elated with joy nor depressed with sadness. He is Stita Pradna. He is always peaceful and tranquil because of Sattoguna. Sattoguna is Ishvara. Sat. So what is the Sattoguna difference between Gnani and Adnani? So Gnani is in Shuddha Sattva, pure Sattva, which is Ishvara. Adnani is in Malina Sattva, on and off. Sometimes he is peaceful, sometimes not disturbed. Malina Sattva. Is the shloka meaning clear? So, Dukeshu Anudigramanaha, Sukeshu Vigataspraha, Vita Raga Bayakrodha, Stitajiman Vichade. Vita Raga Bayakrodha. 4 qualities, disturbing qualities. So Gnani overcomes because he is not falling prey to Tamoguna. So now what does Gnani do? Suffering comes. From suffering he learns. From good circumstances he learns. And he constantly improves his action. For Gnani, life is for learning continuously. He is not attached to the result. He is always peaceful and joyful because of this. Are we clear? So next, this is the question, how a sage speaks. The sage or Gnani speaks has 2 levels of understanding. It's called walking the talk. Means Gnani is like this. How? Dukeshu Anudigmanaha, Sukeshu Vigataspraha, Vitaraga Bayakrodha. This is his state. So he speaks from this state to Adnani. He walks the talk. He talks what is his walk. His life he talks. To help Adnanis to come from Tamoguna. That's how Gnani speaks. That's why Vivekananda spoke. Clear? If politician speaks, he doesn't walk the talk. His life is different from the talk. Whereas Gnani's life is walk the talk. He is Stita Pradna, Stitadi, established in truth. So now, how does a sage sit? Next question, very simple question. How does a Gnani sit? Right? Ya sarvatma anabhisneha tattat prapya shubhashubham na abhinandati na dveshti tasya pradna pratishtita iti. So he who is without attraction on all fronts, whatever he encounters, be it good or evil, he neither rejoices nor does he have distaste for it. His wisdom is firm and steady. So here the question is, how does a Gnani sit? The first question is, how does a Gnani speak? Second question is, how does a Gnani sit? When you say he sits means he is not doing anything. Then whatever circumstances come to him, favorable or unfavorable. Okay? I have not done anything. Gnani does not do anything. Okay? Earlier he has done something favorable or unfavorable. Now he has not done anything. He is sitting. Still something comes to him. Right? So now how does he react is the question, Arjuna's question. He is sitting, that means he has not done anything, still something happens to him. How does he react is the question. So the answer Sri Krishna gives is attraction. He has no attraction. He neither rejoices, oh, something good has come to me, nor he does not have a distaste. That means he doesn't hate. Again, two things are coming, attraction and repulsion. So what does it mean? So Gnani, again, he has not done anything. Somebody comes and does something to him. Okay, karma means at least something I have done and come back to me. Somebody comes and does something to him. So Gnani says, still it says my prarabdha karma, favorable or unfavorable, he is the discrimination, accepts it without attraction or repulsion. Are you clear? So that is the state of Gnani who is sitting. Means he has not done something. Okay. Then comes next question. How does the Gnani walk? Then of course, Gnani can use criticism, scolding. He can criticize people or scolding, but he has no personal enmity or anything for anybody. He is only using it for correction from tamoguna to rajoguna to satoguna. Next question comes, how does a Gnani walk? So the Amrutanandamayi, I want to give an example. When you say walk, it means action. Walking means action. Sitting means inaction. Right? Speaking means walking the talk. Talking about walking and talk being same. Sitting, speaking. So what does a Gnani, how does a Gnani walk? So it is said that when Buddha walks, it was so beautiful because there's a grace and harmony in his walk. There's awareness in his walk. The walk also means actions of a Gnani. A Gnani does all actions not for selfish reason, for Loka Kalyana. Awakening of consciousness in the world, Gnani's actions are dedicated. So Mata Amrutanandamayi, born in a small village in Kerala, She is an embodiment of love. Globally, she spreads love. That is the walking the talk. When you feel love inside, you should be able to spread outside. That's called walking the talk. So Gnani always walks the talk. Adnani just talks, does not walk. So when politician says peace is very important, everybody should have peace, he has no peace inside, he'll speak of peace. It's like there's no walking the talk. Whereas when Amritamai says love is to be there, everybody believes it, everybody understands it, because she is the embodiment of love. Walking the talk is important. So now, what is the secret of walking the talk? 158. So what is the secret of a sage? When he walks or interacts with the world, what happens to him? Yada samharate chayam kurmaha anganiva sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya pradna pratishtita. So kurma is tortoise. So when Gnani interacts in the world, okay, he is able to withdraw his senses. Now, senses doesn't mean physical senses. The physical senses are called charma chakshu or golaka in Sanskrit. Indriya is subtle organ, subtle senses, which sees through the physical senses. So his indriyas are not attracted or repulsed by the objects of the world. Because indriyas always go back to the self. When indriyas go back to self means attention is always there with the self. So that's where he is not affected and he is able to walk the talk irrespective of circumstance in life. So I'll give you an example. A mother goes to the office. The child is at home. So in office, all the duties she is doing, the attention is on the child at home. Similarly, Gnani, when he performs all the actions in the world, attention is inwardly on the Atma. How is that? Kurma, tortoise, is able to withdraw all the legs inside. But there's a difference here. A tortoise will withdraw its legs out of fear, out of danger. When the danger is there, tortoise will withdraw. For Gnani withdraws his sense organs to the self, not because of danger, but because of the love for the Atma, bliss. Is the distinction clear? Example given is tortoise withdraws all these legs inside to protect itself. So Gnani withdraws all the senses indriyas. Doesn't mean that he will not see, he can see also, but his attention is fixed on the self. Now the difference is tortoise does it out of fear, and Gnani does it out of love for the self. They are not same. Example is same, but reason why Gnani does is not same. That's why this is the secret of Gnani. Why he speaks, how he talks, how he walks. The secret is he is able to withdraw his sense organs, mind to the self anytime and all the time. So, are there any questions? Now it's not over. We are in 2.58. We have to go up to 2.64. Next class, other slokas. So anybody on Zoom has a question? Yes, Ram Prakash. Gayatri, can you unmute? Unmuting is required, Gayatri.
Yes.
Ram Prakash, yes. You want to say something, Ram Prakash? No, it's not unmuted.
Done.
Okay, now try Ramprakash. Yeah.
Namaste, Guruji. The class too much chanagitu, Guruji. Today's class was really, we can apply in every moment in our life actually. we can think of what we are doing, so what to do. Really, today's class is very good. And when Gnani comes out of from the samadhi, so will he entangle with the body and mind by interacting with the world?
It's not Gnani. There's only Ishvara operating through body.
Or Ishvara operating through body. Yeah, very nice, Guruji. And I forgot one more question actually. I forgot actually. Okay. And when this one, Mokshatma also is a desire only, no, Guruji?
Yeah, moksha is a desire. No, ultimately I want to get rid of all desire is a desire. Nothing wrong in that. It should be there.
It's the last desire.
It is the last desire. So when people ask somebody, right?
Yeah.
Somebody is dying. What is your last desire? They ask. Then they say, oh, I want to use a biryani. So then he dies. Okay, the last desire is not last desire, because it will take him to next life.
Next life, yeah.
Okay, last desire of a Gnani to become free from desire, it means no next life.
Very nice, Guruji, really. Today's class is amazing actually. We have to go through every day's class actually.
Wait for next class.
Really, definitely. No,
So, yes,
thanks, Guruji.
yes, Deepa, any questions?
Ila Prabhuji. All clear.
Okay, any questions?
ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧನೇ ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧನೇ ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು.
Yes, Purnima, any questions?
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om.
This distinction between Sthita Prajna and Sthita Dhi, ivat gottaಯ್ತು proper really.
Sthita Prajna, actually is Sthita Prajna only. But because he is interacting with the world, he is got Sthita Dhi.
Yes, perfect.
So people think that Gnani means he is like an idle stone. No. He can fully interact with the world. Dhi means buddhi. Dhi means his buddhi is established in Sattva Guna.
Yes,
Sattva Guna is nothing but Sat, which is Ishvara.
And all these shlokas are from Bhagavad Gita that we know, but it's also part of Jivanmukti Viveka.
Yeah, Jivanmukti Viveka, he only takes from slokas from Ramayana, Yoga Vashishta, and gives his interpretation.
Right.
And I have taken his sloka and I have given my interpretation.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om, who is speaking?
ಕಾತ್ಯಾಯಿನಿ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಹೇಳ್ರಿ.
ಅದೇ ಅವರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳನ್ನ ಆ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಹುಡುಗ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದ ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಅವರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಯ್ತು, ನಿಮಗ್ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಯ್ತು, ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೇಗೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಚೈನು ಅದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. ಜ್ಯೋತ ಜಗವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು ಗುರುಜಿ, ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ.
So, yes, Kamari, any questions?
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om.
No question. It's interesting to see how the questions about how the sage sits, speaks, and walks. That's very good to hear and understand the meaning. I also remembered at some point you had mentioned the Mahabhogi. The sage being the Mahabhogi in some previous class. It's amazing, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Sage enjoys every situation. Ultimately, it's Ananda of self only is coming. Okay.
Yes, and the bliss of the Swarupa. I think that distinction also was very, very important to understand.
If you don't understand Swarupa Dnana, Swarupa Ananda, then Samadhi Sukha itself will think it's final, which is not.
Yes, Prabhuji. And you also explained that in previous classes with reference to Chidabhasa and how in moments of small Ananda, it's actually the Swarupa Ananda that's being reflected. So could connect those dots. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, let us sit silently for some time. Can you mute somebody? It's too much noise. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nanembudu Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Sachidanandatma Shivanannani Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am pure consciousness, Shiva Swarupi. Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam, Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyak Jyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotihi, Shivosmiham. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. ಎರಡು ಕೈಗಳನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಉಜ್ಜಿ. Give on to the eyes. Open your eyes. Light of the Self Foundation, Atma Jyoti Vishwagurukulam is recognized by Karnataka Sanskrit University. More than 27 years we have been dedicated to selfless service and self-realization. Atmana Mokshatam Jagataya. You are welcome to look at our website, YouTube channel, subscribe to both, give likes, and share with your friends. Hari Om. Hari Om. Okay, there's a question here. So there is a question here. Okay, I'll answer the question. The question is, Nirvikalpa Jnana is Sahaja Ananda. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is reflected Ananda. Savikalpa Samadhi, what is Savikalpa Samadhi? Okay. So Nirvikalpa Samadhi is somebody who has learned cycling and is effortlessly able to drive the cycle. He is effortlessly staying Samadhi, enjoying Samadhi Sukha. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he requires a support while driving cycle. He'll drives for some time, falls back. Drives for some time, falls back. He's not able to stay in Samadhi because thoughts will come and interrupt him. Okay, even Savikalpa Samadhi, there's Ananda, Sukha is there. But what will happen? Like sometime it'll come back, like that. Is the distinction clear?
Then what is the difference between Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa Samadhi? In both the cases, they are going out and coming.
No. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, right? If I sit for 1 hour, he'll sit for 1 hour. In Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that means uninterrupted. In Savikalpa Samadhi, 10 times he'll fall back and come back in 1 hour.
So the duration is the difference here.
Yeah, he's not able to hold on, right? It's like still learning cycling. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, if he starts, a cyclist, when he starts driving, he'll drive for continuously for 10 miles. That's called, he's practicing Samadhi. Okay. Whereas Savikalpa Samadhi, 10 times he'll fall, again get up and walk, go.
But you mentioned that in Savikalpa Samadhi is like a dream kind of state.
Yeah, Savikalpa Samadhi is like a dream kind of state. No, Samadhi is like a sleep-like state. Savikalpa Samadhi, thoughts come and go. It's like dream. Interrupted, sleep.
Okay.
Right? Are we clear? So shall we start with Kannada session at 11:30? Kannada class.